So I'm back today finally after a couple weeks here of some crazy stuff going on. GIE, Ben Sims here, we went on a small trip, which you'll see all of this stuff coming up. But today I wanted to talk about leaves and what to do with them in your yard, mulch them up, bag them, what should you do. So I don't have any huge trees in my yard really, but when it comes to this time of the year, it gets to that point where I do have enough now that I need to deal with them in some way. And of course neighbor trees and all those things when you live in a neighborhood. Also, if you do notice that I sound a bit under the weather, I apologize for that. I have went to GIE 2 times now. 2 times I've been sick afterwards, and I filmed a video actually, it should come out later this week, where I sound much worse than this, so I apologize. You'll have to deal with that for a couple of videos here. But okay, so let's talk about leaves. The short and the quick answer, especially if you have something like this, is just to mulch them up. That's the quick answer. I know that's not very exciting as far as an answer goes, but we'll go into that a bit more here. But if you have leaves like this, they're not extremely heavy, or even if they are, you can still make it through them with your mower and mulch them up and go over it a few times. Then that would be the best case scenario, because returning some of these nutrients to the lawn is actually not a bad thing at all. So a lot of people remove leaves from the yard because they think that it's going to suffocate the grass, and if they're heavy enough to where you can't mulch them up, then that could be a problem for sure. But if they are like this, you can mulch them, or some light stuff over here, then perfectly fine. And you'll notice that this tree does not have leaves off of it yet. That is an oak. They're always very late, so that comes later on. I'm usually mowing those around the Thanksgiving time, but this maple right here is starting to get there. The other day when we had a hard freeze, it was falling like crazy, but I kind of do them in waves just depending on what's going on. Tonight we have a possibility of snow coming, so I figured I would come out here today and clean up the ones that are here, and then I'll do another cleanup when those come down. Later on in the season, this willow tree over here as well comes down, and a lot of it blows into my yard, so you just have to kind of do things in waves. But I'll show you what the Time Master will do mulching these up. Alright, so I have been mowing at 2 inches with the Time Master. What I want to do is actually raise the deck up now slightly, let the leaves come underneath, and I'll just be cutting those off and not really cutting any grass. It's been cold enough now that it's not really growing, so I'm not doing any of this to mow the lawn. I'm just going to do this to get rid of some of those leaves, mulch them back down into the soil. Here it is after I've done that mowing. You can see here most all of these pieces are now down to something like that, so that's perfect. All of this stuff looks good, and the Time Master does a good job of coming in and mulching all that stuff up to a pretty fine layer like this. So if you're getting anything close to that, that will be completely perfect. No worries there. And as I have more leaves coming down, as I said, I will have to continue to come out. So some of this will continue to get mowed over a few more times yet before the end of the season as well. Mulching for me has worked well, but whatever you do, just make sure you clean up those leaves off of the lawn, because the more leaves that are sitting on the lawn, and once snow comes, everything will get packed down and smothered over top of the grass. It's just not a good scenario. So I know it's not going to be extremely fun to clean up all these leaves or have to do it multiple times like probably a lot of people do, but it's a necessary thing that will help you in the spring to make sure everything's nice and clean when the grass starts growing again. I'm also getting very close to the last real mow of the season. So today I'm going over this really just to clean off just a couple things, not cutting off much grass, but doing a little cleanup on that, and that's probably going to be close to the last real mow of the year. So also let's talk about this latest saga in the facial hair fail that I had, I think I would call it, I guess. So Mowvember has been coming up for a while, and I knew there was going to be something going on for that. So I decided I would try to get a jump start on everyone else because I knew I was going to need a jump start, and we saw the results were not very good. So I was going to let it go until GIE, which I did. I got to GIE the first day, walked around and everything, and got some reactions from people. So let's just say, how do I put this? They were not extremely positive, we'll put it that way. I'll never forget the look on John Perry's face. He saw it, he kind of stood there and he was like, I wish I had my camera rolling for that, but I did not. So something crazy happened that night at the hotel. I was sleepwalking, and I even had the chance to get my camera out apparently when I was sleeping. I have no idea. And somehow it got shaved off. So the next day, GIE, all my trip with Ben, everything was back to normal. But coming up, John Perry has challenged me to grow this thing again for our Mowvember challenge that is going on with some of the guys here in the lawn community. So that's coming up yet at the end of this video as well. I will talk about the Mowvember thing for a second.
Connor just started demoing on this booth.
I can't believe it that Connor didn't even notice the stash thing right away. It was like,
Did he say anything?
he just said something at the end that I was being a sissy, which is usual, so I'm not worried about that.
We're in it. Oh. That was close. Hey, what's up, folks? Here it is.
Oh my God, is that Al's?
That is Alan's. It went to
Jesus.
Connor, to Ben, to me, to you.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I'll take it, bro.
Yeah. So there you go.
I had another great time at GIE, met a lot of new people here that are also in the lawn care video community. So that was another treat this year to be able to meet a bunch of new people.
Fancy meeting you guys here.
Well, hey, what's going on?
So I'm back from GIE, getting started on my trip today to Minnesota with Ben, just about to go pick him up. Taking a little quick look at the lawn here. It's not grown too much since I've been gone, but it looks pretty good overall. So I think Ben will have a good time when we get back doing all of our lawn thing there, so let's get going. So I knew that Ben and I couldn't probably spend our entire time just working in the lawn. He was going to be at my house for a few days. So I wanted to take him to my home state of Minnesota and try to cover a few things that you can do in the Twin Cities. First of all, we went to the Mall of America. Didn't stay there too long because unless you're doing a lot of shopping, it's kind of more of just something to see. The next thing that we did was we went to Topgolf. If you've never been to Topgolf, they're starting to show up across the country in bigger cities. It's a very fun experience, even if you're not great at golf or you don't enjoy golf that much. It's kind of a different atmosphere there. You've got food and drinks and everything while you're playing, so it's quite fun. The next day, of course, I had to show him about some American football and the Vikings. So that was a fun experience, and we were in downtown St. Paul at a bar there, and then we went to the Minnesota Wild game after that. I got some pretty good seats in the third row, right behind one of the goals. Seeing hockey live is something, especially if you can get to a pro game or a semi-pro game. Any game in general, actually, though, I would suggest trying it live. It's very fast-paced, very quick-moving, and it's just fun to go to. And so it's just a taste of what I grew up with in Minnesota and kind of my background and things that I like. So I wanted to share that with him a little bit. So for the final part of today's video, I told you that John Perry called me out as part of a Mowvember challenge that we're doing. So I have to shave what little I have here into the mustache and let that keep going for all of November. The whole point of this thing here is to raise awareness for men's health issues and things of that nature. I'll have a link down in the description below where you can check out some more stuff about Mowvember in general, but it's about growing a mustache for the whole month of November in order to raise some awareness for men's health. I'm gonna do that right now, and then I get to call out someone else. So I'm gonna call out Jake the Lawn Kid, and also Gravy Lookout. He's on Instagram, not on YouTube, but I'll link that in the description below as well. So I call out those two guys to shave a mustache and keep it for November. There it is. I know you can't really see it because that's how it goes for me, but I will let it go and it will get slightly better, maybe. This is all for a good cause here though, so as ugly as it gets, I don't really care. Thank you guys for watching this video. We'll see you next time.
Hey. Yo, yeah, Ryan Knorr, the Ron Rebel. Point spray like that, you know?
No.